Are we live? Yes, we are live. Hello and welcome to another stream. Let me just share this link with the Discord. Hope everyone's doing well. If not, let's try and do well together, I guess. All right. You know what? It's faster going this way. Let's grab this. Let's do it the normal way. Copy link. It's weird that you can only do this after the fact. So the link for this Discord is in the description if you're interested. And all right. Cool. I think we're ready. We are ready. Okay, so what we're gonna try and do today, if we succeed at all, is try to render more than one. Let's close that. Try to render more than one model. Currently, we have the ability to do that, but there is no like way to distinguish the position or anything like that. Which is kind of dubious. We do need a way to do this. I mean, I could... There's like 20,000 different things I could do at the moment, but... This has been something that's been like... I've been putting off and putting off and putting off in the old code that I never actually got around to it. So effectively, I want to build a new descriptor set with a shader storage buffer object, upload data to it, that just has scale, orientation, and position. Maybe just position, I don't know. And then I'll index through that based on the size of the array in an index draw call. Eventually we'll move to indirect draw calls, but for now we're stuck with this. This is so I can just build a scene that's a bit more complicated for pushing triangles to the GPU. Yeah, because right now we have like the ability to do that, but we would be just rendering the same model on top of itself, and we wouldn't know what's good or bad or anything like that. So yeah, that's the idea. I'm going to be robbing a lot of my ideas from this shader and all other things like that. The reason is it's, this is a side project that's basically did the same thing. But yeah, we just need to make sure. I've also been learning about, there's some kind of Vulkan scalar thing that I might want to try. What that does is, yeah, so this, basically, this idea. So we just have the mesh index and, yeah. So I'm basically going to try and replicate this, in my engine, which I never actually got around to. And I believe there's only vertex. I don't think we do anything in the fragment shader. If not, this is going to be simpler. I think, what Windows 10 version is this? This is 2022. I have signed up for the extended security releases. Outside of that, and I don't know. So yeah, it's still old Windows 10. Thanks for tuning in, by the way, Daniel. It's good to see you tuning in. So yeah, let's code some Vulkan, I guess. Yeah, I hope you're having a good day, my guy. So yeah, I'll start with the shaders. I also noticed I've left these lying around, which need to be deleted. I think. Let me just check. Open. Add file explorer. Yeah, we don't use these anymore, so we can just wipe them out. Remove from project. And I believe my CMake. Yeah, so a little interlude. Let's oops. Let's open our CMake. I think I'm doing recursive with shaders. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, let's just check. Let's just build. Alright, yeah. There's nothing to build. Save. Now we can rebuild. Oh yeah, I forgot. I always forget about this assets thing. So the first thing I want to do, actually, before we even touch the shade, is render a different model. The sponsor model we have is a bit too big to do what I want to do. I need like yeah, so this model is lovely, obviously, but I would want to have like a smaller model that we rendered lots, so we can see that easier. It wouldn't be that obvious what's going on. So that is the first task of the day. And I think I know which one I want to render. So we'll keep that guy for now. And this will be good for the future anyway. We need to have a way to have... Oh, sorry. We need to have a way to render different models outside of like a... This one... Hi, Marco. Good question. So this is a refactored version of a... Let me just go to my GitHub and I'll show you what's going on a bit more. Because it's a bit more complicated than just giving you a nice, even... So this engine has been going for about 2 years. But this engine is a bit younger. It's going to be like an updated version of the one you just saw. So you could say 2 years or you could say 2 months, depending on depending on things. Yeah, time flies. So yeah, this has been... Yeah, this current project's been in the works for about 2 months. And it's going to be a better version of that project. I've refactored a lot already. So hopefully that answers your question. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, Marco. I believe this model I want to render is called Duck, not Suck. I think that's their location. Access violation. Doesn't have any primitives? Okay, maybe that's probably a bad model. Give me a second, guys. We might have to take a assets models to Duck. Right. Okay. So this doesn't have any materials. Let's just see if it renders. Okay, that makes sense. What you know what I'll do? I'll open this up in Blender. There could be some weirdness going on with this. The problem with building your own game engine and having no artist is that the models could be high quality or low quality. It's hard to tell unless you're already good at 3D modeling. But at least if I export it from this, I have the same exporter and all that kind of stuff. So we won't be doing anything fancy with the Blender. Open, no, import even. And do we have the path available? Yes. Okay, let's grab it. Throw that in there. It's a bit faster for us. GLTF. And I'll export as a GLB because I prefer GLBs. Export GLB. And I'll throw this in the asset folder, which I can't... where did I put this? Oh yeah, duh. Models out. I'll call this Duck. Export. I'm gonna try and render a ton of ducks. It's gonna be an LOD renderer, lots of ducks. That's the goal anyway. But so far we fell over the first hurdle of trying to render the duck. So before we can render many, we have to render one. And for some reason, this one was not happy. Yeah, it's a good idea. It depends what your goals are. I would always say that Vulkan is a great graphics library, but it's people have said about Vulkan in specifically that it's because you have to do so much more heavy lifting when it comes to writing code, because you have to write a lot of what the driver does for OpenGL, for example. It depends on your goals. So if you want to build like a really fast renderer that's up to date with modern stuff, I would recommend Vulkan in that case. But if you just want to make a game, for example, or you're just trying to make like a nice scene, like OpenGL is completely fine. It's not going anywhere. So it really depends on like what your long-term goals are, and like how much OpenGL have you written? You know, how much would that have? How much would the conversion cost and all that kind of thing? So it's something that's what I would think of. You can't find it. Oh, my bad. Sorry, I didn't actually. So my model is in here, but not in the location, because we've only exported once. See, for me with Vulkan, I just thought, well, it's newer, I'll just start learning it, and I kind of like didn't know OpenGL that well anyway, so I kind of just like, all right, I just ran with Vulkan. Right, let's see what happens. Ah, dang it. We aren't having any good luck today. Let's see. So this might be a bad assumption again on my behalf. Give me a second. So this is null because it. Right, I'm gonna have to look at the actual GLTF version to like examine what is in this thing. So we can look inside here. All right. Okay. Nothing crazy here. So we should have a mesh. And that is within a... It's possible. Yeah, I've driven into the nodes and there's no way to hook back into here. Because this is at the root level. Okay, let's dig a bit. So it's not in the nodes, the mesh. So if I take this and check if it's null, I think if I get the CGLTF data mesh guy, what did I call this? Yeah, it's CG data. No, it's CGLTF data. CGLTF data. Yes. Okay. Okay, so that's definitely not null. Mesh, right? I can just. How do I access the mesh? Give me a second. I've got to figure out how to get the mesh in a different way. Okay, another idea. To see if I can do this. Let's use the old engine. I swear this can render the duck. So I'm just going to do that quick and just see if there's a workaround I used for this particular model. Yeah, using free internet assets is a blessing and a curse at the same time. Right, let's go to game, I think. Main. Yes, okay, so that's rendering that. So yeah, I'm struggling at the moment to just render the dock. All those models, these models are like free, but they all have different things turned on and off. Because GLTF has tons of extensions and tons of like things that you can and you don't have to add, and you can add and you don't have to add and stuff like that. So it's sometimes the case where you think you've done something right, but then another model has this different use case. Yeah, okay, yeah. I would definitely, think about moving to Vulkan. With your current project, I would definitely set up a different branch. I don't know if you're using Git, but okay, that's fine. You can skip that. Just to make sure that you don't, air quotes, ruin your own. Yeah, it's possible that a node doesn't have a mesh, so no, it doesn't crash, but it. No, hang on. Let me turn off mesh. Meshes. Sometimes I can. Nope. All right. So. Right. Let's think about this then. A node can have a mesh, but clearly there needs to be a mesh to have. Right. I'm just gonna have to go from the top. So from here. Okay, we have meshes. A mesh count. Alright, let's do that instead. Yeah, it's possible that I've kind of done this backwards, where I need to do it from the CGLTF thingamajiggy. CGLTF data. Okay. Yeah. I'll leave that there for a minute. So these are the things I need to care about. So it's meshes. Mesh count. So first thing first, let's just see if this even exists. And we know it's false. This will always be true for this particular model. Mesh count. No, that's a swear word. There we go. Thank you very much. And yeah, we'll see what's in it. And then we'll, yeah, if it's true that the mesh doesn't have anything in the node stack, I will. This is called mesh 2. Let me change that. This is from when I was doing some old conversion. Don't need to do that anymore. Alright, I'm just going to comment that out for a minute. Move that at the top. This is just for reference. And cool. Right, so right, there we go. Now if we break there, we'll see what's going on. No, I'm using SDL3. Yes. I think I'm up to date with my SDL. Okay, cool. Right, what a crazy assumption. I'm currently in the node stack hierarchy. Okay, let me just check that the same meshes that's appearing here for a model that does have a node in its node hierarchy. Mesh count, does that exist? Interesting. So this doesn't have any nodes. How do I deal with this case? So if I'm in the node hierarchy and it doesn't have a node, how do I apply transforms? Let's have a look. Alright, I don't care about camera. Here's a matrix. Yeah, what? Hello? Node. So I can still pull out the matrices, but I can't assume that we'll have a... Alright, let's reorganize this a bit. I think I can get around that. If I just don't assume... I can build up the final matrix based on the hierarchy, but I can't assume that there's always going to be a mesh here, so I'm going to have to pull this if statement out, which pulls out the materials, loop through this guy basically, and apply the matrix. Do I care about models with multiple... I don't think I care about GLTF files with multiple models in, or do I? Yeah, I pull from SDLs from source, so... Oh, you're too far. You're too far up to date. That's funny. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I still have to build SDL for Linux anyway, so it's almost as if I'm doing that, but I do it by a tag, not by just like whatever the source is up to date with. Yeah, so if there's multiple meshes in a GLTF file, and I think that happens when you have this origin point is like, let me load a model. Correct me if I'm wrong here, right? Do I have this model anymore? Yeah, because what I'm thinking anyway is we go through the node hierarchy, we build up the matrix, and then I'm kind of worried about, well, is there another mesh pair that model hierarchy for its transform? This isn't animation, by the way. This is just like position. And I think you can have a model, a GLTF file with like little models that aren't combined together. Like, hang on, the chess one. I think that can render. Again, I'm just going to go back to here, and I think it's chessboard. Hang on, let's just check, because I'm not going to find it. A Beautiful Game, that's the one. Now, actually, let's put it in Blender. That makes more sense. Import GLTF. So if I go back up the hierarchy of this, and go to a Beautiful Game, GLTF, Okay, let's go to the duck. There we go. Yeah, like this, like these aren't connected. Like the spheres are different from the, and the chessboard is different again. And I'm assuming that's what it means to have multiple meshes. Let's break that, let's test that assumption. Yeah. So we have meshes in these in the nodes. I've just got to assume that sometimes that we just do not have meshes per node. I mean, this is obviously not game ready. It's got way too many triangles as well. It's got a crazy amount of triangles. But anyway, interesting. So this is kind of like maybe the simplest case when you don't have any meshes in the node hierarchy. You just kind of just got to go, all right, if mesh is null, do it a different way, right? So scroll down, past all the materials. Let's just scroll a bit faster. There's a lot to do. Ah, we have to duplicate code. No. I'm overcomplicating this. What I'm literally going to do is let me think. Because I could just say, you know, dead simple mesh equals CGLTF data mesh. But this is an array. So I'm assuming here that we've got one in the array. And we're treating this the same. Let's just see what happens with this. I know it's not good to do this because, again, I just want to see if it doesn't just boff. If the current node is null, I skip it. I skip to its children. Ah, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah, so if it's null, then we just continue. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Let's see. So, hang on, all the way around. This needs to be if null. If equal to null. We have a continue. Okay. So if it's null, nothing happens. And we would be traversing the node hierarchy. I'm kind of curious for this particular model, does it even have children? It seems so simple. Yeah, thanks for that, Ratchet, by the way. Node size 1. Well, this is just going to be null and then continue. Sag. Let's just see what happens anyway. I mean, oh, there you go. It did render. Why did that work? I'm missing something. I assume this would be null and it would just kind of continue and then leave the for loop because it would be incrementing by 1. The for loop would leave. However, we do have a duck. Yeah. Instead of using the exclamation mark, I like to be a bit more explicit in my code base when it comes to false conditions. I'm not always like that. But I like to it's possible. Obviously, you can any programmer can see that, but if I'm tired one day or something like that, it's easy to miss. So that's why I do that. Oops. Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna. How does this get this mesh? All right, I've got to check this out. Sorry, give me a minute. Okay, so it's picked up the thing, but what are we on? Oh, we're on a different node stack altogether. Wait, there's children? Oh, hang on. Right, okay. Okay, so clearly there's a parent-child thing going on here. Right, okay. Anyway, yeah, thanks for that, Ratchet, by the way. Now we can actually do what we wanted. So we have our duck. Very nice. It's still got the physically based rendering, which is cool. I think it's scaled relatively well. I could be wrong. This could be like way too big, but I think this dock is quite big. But anyway, that's good. Yeah, I think that's by accident. I can't take credit for that cell shading. I think that's just my physically based renderer doing whatever it wants to. It could be the model itself. I actually haven't looked in Blender what the shader should look like, but... Right, let's try and render more than one. That's the goal. Cool. Already improved the engine. Brilliant. Okay, let's see. What's the first thing I want to do then? I want a new struct. Again, I'm stealing a lot of this code from here. No, wrong. Let's close this for now. Don't save. We don't care about that. So I've already written this before. I don't want to call it mesh straws. Meh. So scale orientation and yada yada. So yeah, this will be, if you've written shaders before, this will be very, you know, basic, I guess. Yeah, these descriptor sets, these SSBOs start at 7 and 8 because I'm not currently with bindless yet. So all the textures are between these SSBOs. Again, that will be removed, and we will be using and let's see. Cool. I don't want to do this. I just want position not to be whatever this is. Well, multiplied. Yeah, we want to mess around with the position based on some position. I mean, let me just think. Is this a good idea of doing this? Because we have a position. I just wonder if I can just move the thing around without having to do anything. I might be. Hang on. I mean, we could just take in the position here, because we have a global model anyway, which is the scale. Just seeing if I can simplify my life. See, if I have a position, or even just a matrix that just stores, you know, this thing, like model. I mean, we have material stuff. Okay, let me think about this, because I think I'm trying to combine too many things together. That this other render didn't have access to some data that we've got, I think. Yeah, this is gonna give. Just give me a second. All right, what is that local constants? Yeah, now looking at the shaders, I'm not entirely sure this is a good idea. Right, get rid of this for a minute. Yeah, because maybe we can just offset the model, and then we are rendering more than one anyway. If we have an array of these, we just put the model in different places. But this is from the materials. I just want to see if that... Am I pulling out the model here? I don't think so. I think what I'm doing is taking that model. Let's just see... Yeah, give me a second. I think I'm... Right, I would have slowed down. This is... I end up often rushing and I end up making mistakes, so... Okay, model is there. Let's think about this. Am I already okay? So we're accessing a buffer that's mapped. Then we write to it with the model materials. But this is per draw call, which could be multiple per mesh, because obviously we have different materials. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can. The model. Yeah, my model loader is definitely a bit more limited. I need to keep beating it up, like we are right now. Oh, really? So if I can load and render these things without getting any errors, that I'd be a cool kid in the graphics render in Discord. Very cool. That might be a side task that I may or may not be interested in. Just it sounds fun, but you know, I've got to prioritize my time at the same time. But I'll definitely look at it. It sounds interesting. But anyway, where do we write model? That's the question. I want to see where dot model lives. We got inverse model. Okay, so it's just the final matrix of whatever the mesh is. Can we mess with this? So if I take the final model and do something to it, let's just say we okay, before I do that, let's see. Size of 1. So this would do that. See, what I'm thinking of doing is basically having a second for loop that kind of reruns the index draw call. And we just say that we're on not an instance, what is it? Which one do I need? Not the vertex offset. First instance. One of these has to be changed to be the size of how many I want to draw, I think. But anyway, I'm thinking of having a second. Yeah, if we have a second for loop, but each for loop basically updates model to have a random offset of some kind. And I think we might have our goal already set up. Rather than having like a second SSBO and all that kind of thing. I mean, it might be good, but let's just see. Right, first things first, I wanted to see if I can actually modify this model. Like set up a transform. Now GLMs, what we got? Translate takes a brilliant. So it takes our model, and then we have a hang on. Mesh draw doesn't have a thing in it. That makes sense. Right, I'm gonna be lazy for a minute and just say, just for testing reasons. Okay, and it wants to say what? Vec3s. I think I could just construct this like this. What would be obvious? I think a large Z value. Right? That would be something like that, 50? That might be further or closer to the camera. I think larger value. No, that's the depth buffer I was going to think of then. Okay, so does that do anything? Does it return a value? Oh, it returns something. So taking our matrix, offset it by that, and do that. Okay, I did see. I have no idea where that went. I did see a bit of yellow and it immediately blinked out of existence. Oh, hang on. This is in the for loop. This is in the render loop, so this is happening. I'm constantly offsetting by 50. Yeah. That's not good. That would mean I would never see it again. But it did move. Okay, so let's not do that there then. Can I just do this? And I think, right, okay. Okay, so it did move. Right, okay, so that's good. So we can actually change the position of whatever based on like a model index. Okay, so that works for one model when there's one draw call. My question now is to figure out if... Yeah, that's true. I mean, I could always just do it just to get better at programming in general. Which is, load that model that gives you call points if you're on a... So I have a feeling with this, we're just going to get offset, like a random texture. It's going to be like randomly offset. Yeah, okay, that's what I was expecting. Yeah, I don't have transparency yet. I did have it originally in the other engine, but... yeah, so that is per mesh in the GLTF thingamajiggy. Let me think about this. Because this is technically a material. Everything's being offset anyway. I want to offset everything. Not just a random... I mean, obviously I'm doing 0 here, but the goal is to just go... Yeah, offset the whole model, please, by X. Kind of like how we did with global scale. So it looks like I need a global scale type thing. I need another matrix. Yeah, if I just mess around with this, I'm gonna, like I said, offset random bits of a model. Yeah, so this is the idea, right? So this is just scaling. But a position change would be nice. I like random values or something. So like generate a list of random values based on how many models I want to draw, and then just kind of place them in different places based on the draw call. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Yeah, make translates. This is part of this uniform buffer. Yeah, I could very easily add a second, like not global model, but I could combine them all. Yeah, okay, let me think about this. I literally could just, for this global model, I don't have to send up individual models. I could just literally send up global model, which is already here anyway, and just translate it before I scale it, and then send that up. I think that's, yeah, that's like, and then I just have to have like random values then. All right, let's do this again. With a float, I'm gonna make this better in a bit, but duplicate, not that many. So we have Y, Z, and we said 100 was kind of like a thing that we're doing. Global model. Right, we've got an equals here. Scale. Either scale is first or last. I think it's last. GLMs. Translate. So model. Global model, which I hope is an identity at this point. And then we just take the xpos, ypos, and zpos. Okay. So this returns. It didn't like that. Oh, hang on. Yeah, there's no function overload for this kind of stuff. This is a C. This is a C API. Mul mate for mul. Yes. So I think. Oops. A translation matrix, rotation matrix, and scale matrix are the way to go. Okay, there we go. And we just have a Z position. So now we shouldn't get that offsetting of random bits of a model. We should just have a different position based on the Z value being 100. Okay, we have a different position, but maybe it's too different. Or maybe this was junk, maybe this is bad. Is scale first? No reason. I just kind of like the C API better. It's so, for me, it's like, if I wanted to just like get some SIMD in there, it'd be way easier than like function overloads and stuff. I kind of, as soon as I saw GLMs, I was like, wow, this is nicer. I'll see GLM. Just from my point of view, there's no difference though. The maths is the same. Okay, let's just check that I'm not getting some. Let's just check the multiplication works. Okay, then no, that's wrong. That's wrong. So it's not. Okay, let me take a step back again. If I just see, does the translation work, or is that translating it every single time? Because we are in we are on the render loop here, and I just wonder if we're transforming. Okay, yeah. So it didn't like that at all. I'm wondering if I just got to check things out first. 111. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. And if I look at my shaders, there's nothing in particular that says this can't happen. I don't think. So you got view projection scale multiplied by model multiplied by the vertices. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a debug session. based on maths. Okay. Again, I'm just gonna... Oops. Mat for identity. And we are going to transform this by nothing. So I assume this is going to do... This is going to be back to normal. Okay. And then it's to see if... Okay, so we... No, it didn't like that. Are we still here, though? I don't think so. Let's just go by 2. Because this might be, like, every single second it might be moving. I think that is what's happening, to be honest. Oh, no, it isn't. Okay. It was just too far. Okay. And it's not moving every single time. But reapplying this multiplication seems a bit... No, we need to do it per draw call, right? Because this is updated every single time we have a map buffer thingy. Yeah, it's a really old BLDF. Please excuse it. I do have better ones. My physically based renderer is in its like terrible state. My newer engine, is this the right one? No. My newer engine that I'm kind of forking this guy off from does have a better. I will eventually bring that in because it is quite shocking. There is a bit of like, I'll just show you. Like you can see like, where is it? Oh, I've moved the model now so you can't see it, but like there's like a big white splodge here for no reason. And I think that's because it's not written enough, and there's no like lighting in this engine either. So there is like a light uniform and all that kind of stuff, but it's not currently being used. Yeah. It is on the docket. But I want to kind of do that with everything else. I want to do that with... My goal is to bring bindless textures and descriptors plus dynamic rendering plus update the shaders. That's like... But that's going to be a... After this. I kind of want to render more than one model before I even get to that point. Because I always put it off. And yeah, I kind of regret that. Because what's the point? You know, I would like to build like a nice scene, even if I can't interact with it. That would be nice. I've got a thing. Let me 0.1 times by delta time multiplied by this. Okay. I wonder if that's why it disappeared off, because it's moving itself. No, it didn't like that. Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit of... Hang on, let's just scale this down like crazy. Because I kind of want to see if it was moving and that's why it's happening, or is it just I've just completely balked the matrix. No, I think I've completely destroyed it. Because all I want to do is literally put it in different positions. Nothing crazy. I don't want to have things moving yet. Yeah, one thing at a time. Alright, let's interesting that this scale seems to... Is there a make transforms? Make, rotate, make, translate. Okay. So hopefully this doesn't do anything. Good. Now let's move this by 10. Please don't disappear off to the earth. Yep, that's good. We've moved the model quite aggressively, but that's fine. I'll bring this down to 5 for a minute. And curiously, if I take scale, instead of using what I used, I want to use make, translate here, and multiply these two together. Let's scale by, I don't know. This would be quite a big model. And then we can get the duck in again, I think. Okay, yeah, I think that worked. I can't exactly know if it's scaled, but if I don't scale, so if I don't scale, okay, let's just duplicate this and just translate. The difference is what? I'd love to see this. Oops. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's what we want. Comma, semicolon even. Ah, should have just deleted this and comment this out, see what happens. What is the difference? We are hopefully seeing some difference. Okay, yeah, okay, so we're in a completely different spot than we were earlier. That's what I wanted to see. Very cool. So this is, in theory, working. So now if you render the duck again. Alright, for now I'm going to leave these as 0 to do add different values. So now we have to figure out, for each draw call we need a different guy. Which, okay, let me think. Let's move this a bit closer. So this is used, I think it's got to be used outside this. We don't want to stack corruption. Or not. What? Can I just inline this? That would make my life easier. Inline assignment, please. Yeah. Right. Ah, no, it's used somewhere else. Okay, so for the inverse matrix. That makes sense, yeah, because that is for tangent and bitangents. Okay, that's not that bad. I don't even use bitangents in anything at the moment, but they are there. Okay, let's just bring this back. Let's render the duck again. Yeah, let's do that. Oh yeah, and unscale the model. We need our LODs in action. Lots of ducks. Okay. One duck. Cool. Now, I don't want to use instance rendering. That's the other thing I don't want to do. Even though we're going to rendering the same model, this is supposed to simulate multiple models at the same time. So I've also, let's generate random floats in the lamest way possible. I'm gonna just use rand and like divide it. No, that's, never mind. Because I don't need robust randomness. I just need relatively. And I'm just gonna rob this because I've written it before in this project. Yeah. Instancing is, I mean, I used it ages ago when I built a 2D renderer, which, because it makes sense because you're just rendering squares and texturing them. But yeah, I don't use instancing. I don't think I have in 3D. Rand, where are you? Yes, Rand. Yep. Scene radius. Okay, we'll see what this does. If this is all poo, then we'll do something else. What I'm thinking this might not work is because yeah, this might not work because why won't it work? Because it's just basically scaled by too much. I might be scaling this way too much. I'll rob these floats. Give me. No, you're not smart enough. Okay. I can at least get rid of that. And scene radius. This was 300. Just another float. And obviously need to set the seed. Rand. No srand. I use the same seed. Ugh, come on. I use the same seed. Let's see what the values are. Yeah, 300 negative. Right, we need to reduce that quite a bit just so we can see it. Let's do 5. See what that comes out to be. 4 minus 4. Yeah, okay. That's probably not going to be disappearing off to the face of the earth, but okay, so it's down there. Cool. Now we have a way to have random numbers in a scene. I might even reduce this again just because I don't need it to be that big, and I want the scene to be quite small. Yeah, so yeah, just for now we're just going to do a tiny offset, and then we can always make it bigger when we have more to render. Cool. Now the next step is to figure out pair draw call. How do I do this? So I'm thinking that so we bind that. I don't think we need to rebind these. We get the we have this push thing, which yeah, whatever. Now, does this have to be here exactly? It would make my life a little easier if this could be here. But I could be updating a buffer while messing around with the command buffer at the wrong time. So I've got a uniform buffer here. It's doing a mem copy. And then I'm getting the command buffer and then doing all this. Does it care about the order? Easy enough to find out. No. For now, anyway. Okay, so what I want to do then is effectively write a for loop around all that. Because this is this as well. I don't want to have this in here. Okay. I did originally pull this out. This is only in here because if this is fine. But why do we need that? I think we can just take this out again. I don't know why that's in there, to be honest. Yeah, because we don't want to be doing any updating with the camera multiple times per mesh. I mean, this may be slightly slower if this is null, but yeah, all I really want to be doing is writing to the uniform buffer. This could blow up. Nope. We are all happy. Cool. Okay. Right. So for the index draw call, we need to tell it. Right. Give me a second. This was the bit I was a bit unsure about. What actually needs to be set? Mesh index. Is this a thing? Vertex offset. I'm using SSBOs for the vertex data. Is that important? Let's find out, I guess. Okay, I think we went past it. I need to find the... I do have a question. If I don't do... Hang on. Does that need to happen for every draw call? Or can we just set it once and do multiple draw calls? I guess we'll find out. That might be what's happening. This might have to happen every draw call. I don't know. Because if I just keep drawing over and over again, and I don't bind the pass and pipeline and all that kind of stuff, will it just throw up on me? Alright, let's just see, right? There's only one way to find out. So now we need a kind of an array. Ah, brilliant. Okay, brilliant. Thanks for that, Ratchet. So Ratchet has just said I don't have to worry about doing that multiple times. Cool. That's good news. I just need to do it per frame, not per draw call. Good. And let's make a array of vec3s. Let's close positions. Cool. I'm going to initialize it with the allocator I want. I think I want the permanent one. Initial capacity 4 is the minimum, and yeah, let's yeah, screw it, let's run the 4. So for positions, oops, U in 32, I equals 0, I is less than positions size. Okay, don't need this every single time. That would be mildly slower. Positions. Oh, no. 0 for a minute. And you're just afloat. Yeah, I think that's the difference between the two. Okay. So now we have that. I'm going to loop again. Pair. Cool. Right, let's just see. Again, this is just a test scene, so we're not doing anything special. I for now, because I don't want to name it. Positions. Dot size. And then take the positions and based on IX. Actually, I'm constructing pointlessly. I can just do that. Okay. So this draw index is important. And I need to look at my guy. I think it's doing an indexed indirect draw call. Yep. Oh, it's doing a count as well. So that's a command buffer. I think. And that is for the 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's all to do with. I know what to do. It's the. This is stupid. This is 1 because we're drawing one thing. Now we're going to be drawing at I think this is how it's supposed to work. Right. Oh, no, it's instance count. Oops. Draw count. Oh, we're already doing that. Hang on. Instance 1. Draw count X. Maybe I've already finished. I don't need to do anything here. That's an instance. That's a draw count. But this is done per mesh draw. Alright, let's see this blow up. I highly doubt we're going to get 4 ducks. Okay. We have a duck in the same place. Okay, that's not what I expected to happen. And before I forget, let's delete this guy. Yeah. Shut it down. Got to shut down your array. What's interesting is the positions don't seem to have updated at all. Oh, right. Sure, we can check these. Give me a minute. This might be because my custom array, that might not be a junk value, but it's possible we do have junk values here. Okay, so X. Come on, IntelliSense. Work with me. What? What? Why is Y a junk value? Alright. We're going to have to pull these out to see. Ah, right. Thank you. I just realized my silly mistake. Someone in the yeah, Ratchet has just pointed this out. Why am I doing that? It should be. Okay. Ha ha ha! What an idiot. Yeah, thanks for that. Being so stupid. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Okay, we have values again. Yes, my bad. Alright, let's just see what happens when we have like values that make sense. Okay, so we have a duck there and one duck. Yep, I is unused, yes. So it's picking the last one and rendering it. Plus I? No. Mesh draw count. We bind at, yeah, that's just making sure that we're not doing a dynamic descriptor set. We've got the index buffer. It's exactly the same. We don't want to change it. Yeah, appreciate that. I think I'm doing that right here. I just had a brain fart, obviously. Yeah, this is a bit new to me because I've literally first indexed. Zero vertex offset. Index count. It feels like. Alright, I'm going to try this. This is probably wrong. So we're kind of adding two things here, but there's only one mesh, so I'll be able to see at least. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I understand what you meant. Yeah, this thing. Yeah. So I was randomly generating values, and then assigning them 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 at x and y and z. So only x was getting assigned at 0, only y was getting assigned at 1, and only z was getting assigned at 2, which was wrong. We need to loop through all the created positions. Yeah, mildly embarrassing, that one. Okay, now I've just got to figure out why am I only drawing the last one. Okay, question. If I minus... Is it always the last one, or is it just... Is it in a different place? Yeah, okay, so it's in a different place. We're only drawing the last one. Because... give me a minute. Oh. What are the arguments, though? Can't I see the arguments? Like, oh, I forgot. I'm using Vulkan this one because I was following the Arsenica Vulkan renderer. So I'm not actually using... But I think... No, I don't think that would work. That's the draw commands buffer. I think this is all indirect draw call stuff, except for that, sorry. All indirect draw calls. Actually, let's just Google it, bro. That's what I actually need to do. To see what is what. Okay. Indirect, index draw, indirect count. Command buffer, the buffer size. Ah, the count buffer. Right. So we have a stride. So we're striding. The second to last variable is max draw. Oh, so this is all just draw count stuff. I don't need the count buffer, do I? To do what I want. I thought I could literally just draw multiple times with just a draw call. Alright, give me a sec. Let me do a bit of googling. Right, so we're using the basic index draw call. I'm gonna get So I know you said earlier that I didn't need to worry about this, but I am kind of curious. Do I need to clear the screen every time or something? I'm just kind of guessing here, but I just want to experiment a bit. What does happen if I do this? We get it. What? Oh. I'm gooey. Fine. Oh, the marker thing. And that as well. Ah, maybe we just need all this anyway. Probably not the profiler though. Maybe it's the presentation that's the issue. Yeah, if the presentation is the issue, maybe that's it. Yeah, because maybe we're just presenting the last thing of the thingy. The last rendered thing once we leave the for loop. So it just goes, all right, I'll present that, and then it goes, all right, okay, cool. If that's the case, then yeah, that would be it. Now we get a signal state. Oh, we need to do the not new frame. The no, that doesn't make sense because we would have to do that every single frame. Maybe we do need to do this. Like, hang on. Give me a second, guys. I've got an idea. Right, let's just go back. I think we might need to literally do this for loop for every single frame. Right? I'm going to try it. If we... kind of curious now. So now we're kind of doing this. Again, it's a bit ugly, but I'll work with it for a minute. Okay, that's what I was afraid would happen. So yeah, we're clearing unnecessarily. I mean, we could literally take this out one thing at a time though. This is still a render loop. Yeah, we're still rendering in here. Oh yeah, I'm beginning the command buffer too early. Alright, let's go back. That was not a good idea. None of this is a good idea. How do I... let's think. How do I do this? Maybe I do need to do a new frame and present. But it just seems a bit weird to do that. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Are we pushing the marker? No. Let's not do that there then. I hate this idea of rendering IMGUI for every single instance, so if I can pull that out too, that'd be nice. Yeah, because this is a command buffer. We need to present it, but we're not presenting this either. profiler. That might mess us up. Because I am doing some commands here for the profiler. 1 minute. Okay, okay. I think this begins the command buffer. Oh, we have a command buffer ring. I think I removed this at some point. This just gets a command buffer based on the current frame. And its thread. But there's only one thread, so... you do all this. Then we go in here, we start a new... Can we even do that, though? That's the thing. Because we have, like, I'm GUI up here. Trying to do its same stuff. Like, if we're not starting a new frame, I don't think this will be able to do anything. Yeah, I highly doubt this will work at all. I think what I've done, I'm just going to have stuff that's done before the frame begins and it's going to crash. Yeah. Indexed. Yeah, and I think if I was to look at the call stack, this would be in... where is this? Oh, this. Oh, interesting. And what was the issue? It's called before begin. Yeah, but as soon as I move this inside the for loop, it just goes nuts. Yes, I wanted to copy nothing. Okay, right. So currently, if anyone's watching, we're trying to render more than one model. I mean, people might be watching, I can't tell. I don't have the view count open. This is just to catch everyone up. I'm struggling right now with the fact that the index draw call, I believe it needs to be ran more than once to draw more than one model. We have this happening here, no problem. But this is for... This happens... I've said that out loud. Okay, let me keep talking. So this worked before with multiple draw calls. This was fine. Why wasn't it fine earlier? If we record more index draw call command buffers. Yeah, I'm curious now, like. Let's go back. I think I've got confused. I forgot that when you do things like this, you record the command buffers to a command buffer that gets submitted. So yeah, it doesn't matter if I've got like 60 draw calls here. They just all get presented all at once in submission. That's how Vulkan works. I'm trying to think like draw calls immediately do something. They don't do immediately. They immediately don't do something. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know about my what is it called? My timestamps. This shouldn't be this complicated, but it is. I will worry about my profiler in a bit, but I think it still draws with that profiler there. It's not like it's breaking it, I believe. I mean, I could be completely wrong there. Maybe I'm doing something that's from Vulkan 1.0 and Vulkan 1.3 doesn't like it anymore. Okay, so we have something rendered. It's over there, and that's the only thing rendered. And when I did... No, I swear I'm not doing anything here. I'm just recording a... It's possible that for every... I am drawing 4... What are they called? 4 ducks, but they're all in the same place. Let's test that theory, because that's a possibility. It's a possibility that I've done everything right, but I'm drawing the same duck in the same place 4 times. So this needs to be... Yeah, this is obviously not good. Don't do this. 0.5f for the 0th duck. Semicolon. So for each instance of this, it'll be moving. So I'm going to be quite small. I just need to see like... Oh no, it'll be adding up over and over again. No, I can't do an addition. I'm gonna have to do like a equals 0. Yeah, let's make this simple, right? Let's just set the position at 0, 0, 0. Instead of adding it, because that's just going to keep moving. And if we see a second duck, then we're actually good. We're doing everything right. Nope. Okay, that's information though. That's a data point. Now, if I did the last duck, the 4th one. Oops. Where's 3? There it is. And I did that. Oh, hang on. No. Okay, it did move. But wouldn't it need to be here? Because we're making the transform. And then yeah, I think I did this in the wrong order. It moved, but I think that was lucky. No, okay. Only the last one. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of this for a minute. And... no, that's not going to work. That's silly. But we're going to use the positions dot size. Nope. Right. We have a triangle. Yay. Okay, that's there. Screw it, let's just see. Nope, just one. Our NVIDIA is right, let's bring this back in. Okay, right. I'm just gonna do trial by error. What does that do? That doesn't like that, no problem. Yeah, okay, so the index buffer is screwed up if I do that. Probably because I've exceeded the index buffer. Ugh. 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 That's a horrific image. Oh. Yeah, I've seen them actually. The welcome to the stream, Teiyu Sensei. Yeah, I have been. I've seen. It seems weird, but I've seen a lot of the Gemini, sorry, Genie 3 Google stuff. On LinkedIn, the most weirdly. It's impressive. It's a impressive piece of tech. I think the more I've seen it, the more I've seen that tech, okay, give me a second. The more I've seen that tech, it has made me think like, okay, it looks cool until you start moving. I don't know if you've if you've seen the Gemini scenes, right? If a player starts to move, Genie, sorry, I keep saying the wrong thing. If a player starts to move away from like the area where the scene was generated, it kind of falls apart. And I also think it's like a waste of compute, just to play a video game. I know it seems funny to say that. I do get the idea of like democratizing and all that kind of stuff. Did I put 1 or I? No, I did put I. You know, I think that's the, you know, that's the, to give it like the most beneficial, it's like, you know, to democratize things, you know, you don't have to know all this black magic stuff that I'm trying to do. But it's like the compute itself is kind of like Google is crunching so much data and so many like GPUs or whatever to generate a scene that has a radius of like, I don't know, 100. It's like 100 by 100 or something. You know, so the radius would be like, you can only go in X and Y and Z in 100 pixels or whatever until the scene starts to completely fall apart. Because I've seen that as you get further away, things deteriorate. So it seems like if you were to make a video game with that technology, you would have to be constantly generating new data as the player moved. I mean, it's cool. It's just like, I think we would need like an insane amount of supercomputers just to play like one game. Let's get rid of this. So yeah, it's you know, I'm not a big AI guy, admittedly. There's a lot of things I don't like about AI. It just seems like another thing that they just want to add to increase stock value. I don't know why I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they use it for, but I don't know what the use case is at the moment. Outside of making a tiny little game where you can't leave a little confined space. Maybe. And again, there's no gameplay, really. They're just moving. And it's rich coming from me because I'm just rendering a duck at the moment. But there isn't much like game design going on. It's still interesting though. I still would be interesting to see where it goes from there. Yeah, just curious again. I think I've tried this already. Yeah. Let's pull this out. Let's remove this pop frame thing. Actually, let's pull both of these out. And yeah, it's definitely just straight up a copy. I mean, I don't know. It's just, we'll see what happens, I guess. Yeah, don't go on LinkedIn, guys. It's everything. Everyone's trying to make a hot take to get some LinkedIn internet points. It's horrendous. It's a bad site, and it's always about AI. It's never something different. All right, I'm just gonna try and do a bit of thinking. So if we have, right, I think first thing I want to check is, okay, yeah, some transform values. Yeah, that looks different to me. Yeah, they're all different. Okay. First sanity check finished. we write these to this thing, and then we record three different command draws per whatever this is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, like you said, Teo Sensei. There's no way that anyone has access to that level of compute that we'd need to be constantly regenerating scenes. It's interesting. I just don't know what you're going to use it for. What Google's going to use it for. I mean, they can sell it to people to generate a little scene that they can walk around. But I'm talking more like how they're going to sell it to like a business or something like that, you know. Draw calls. Yeah. Okay. You can't breakpoint this. Okay, so render. Now where's this lambda run? So we've yeah, because we're doing some pyramid culling here. Interesting. It's like he's not rerunning the in this code anyway. It's not like he's recording like 1,000 million. Yeah, I think that's because he's doing a command buffer. Let's have a look. Maybe I should upgrade to just do this. I mean, I'm going to do it anyway. Just don't do the mesh shading path. He binds a buffer. He binds all the descriptor info. What's that? It's a union of takes in a buffer. Oh, it's just it's a stack array. Dirt. Okay, so it's a stack array of buffers. Vertex, command draw buffer, and DB. What on earth is that? Vertex, storage. It's a storage buffer for something. Yeah, forgive me. It's been a couple of. It's been a minute since I've been in this code. I see. Ratchet's conspiracy theories that Google is trying to push a cloud computing only gaming solution, so you effectively you'll own nothing and be happy sentiment for this. This is what Genie 3 is all about. I mean, they did have Stadia for a while. I remember that just died a death. I think the problem is I just think people just want to own their own games. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but I do agree with you. Like that would be a dystopian future. Crazy idea. Just I know, probably not the cleverest idea. But I just want to see what happens if I run this multiple times. I want to see more if it'll crash more than anything. Why are you crying? Oh, okay, fine. That's right. Cool. Why are you crying as well? Oh, dirt. That's right. Yeah, because I... No, this is the material data. Yeah, I don't care about... Yeah, I'm just drawing 4 times now. Okay, that didn't crash. Ratchet, you're on Google Plus, you see. Oh no. What are we going to do about that? Looks like you've started off the whole collapse of Western civilization. Because AI was obviously Genie 3 was the beginning of that, and it all started when Ratchet was on Google Plus. Yeah, I'm just drawing 4 times now, the same thing. I know I'm so close. I'm so close to this. It's just... don't know. Like, why can't I write multiple uniform buffers per draw call? Can you do that? Hello. Oh, you Den, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day, my guy. Appreciate you turning up to the stream. That's it, we got to stay positive no matter what. Because I swear I'm literally just around the corner from this working. Yeah, can you update a draw call like a uniform? Because I have a feeling that we're doing something bad here. We've got a uniform buffer, and I want it to be different per draw call. Now, in my head, I was like, yeah, okay, that'll just be different for each instance of a model, but it's possible that when the draw calls get to be executed. The uniform buffer just kind of goes, oh, I don't know. We'll take the last thing that was updated. Because it's not in sequence. Like, it's not like an index draw call is going to be, you know, it's not going to match with every uniform buffer. You know, uniform buffers and draw calls aren't the same. They're separate. They're separate entities. Yeah, it should be host coherent. We are writing to it. But I think what I'm trying to do here is I'm drawing stuff, right? I'm drawing stuff. Oh, thanks for all the hearts, by the way. I don't know who did that. I don't really know what clicking the heart does, but there we go. Thank you very much. I'm sure Google likes that. Anyway, so we have a uniform buffer that I'm updating for every draw call, which is fine. But I'm not sure these map one-to-one. That's the only thing I'm starting to think now. Because this is host coherent, because otherwise this wouldn't work in the first place. We're getting the view projection from here, we're getting the scale, and I'll just use the scale in thingamajig. You know, so if I keep doing this, let's just make it 2. We should say dun dun dun. But what I think is starting to happen now is every instance of the draw call is using the same data in the uniform, meaning that we're not getting any different data being drawn. I think what I should be using instead of this uniform buffer to upload a generic global model, which seems to be affecting everything. I do need to set up a shader storage buffer object of some kind that we can index into based on what we're up to or something. Yeah, they'll be read by the GPU, but I'm not sure. What I'm saying is, unless you know, if I have like 7 draw calls and I've updated the what is it called, the index draw call. Sorry, if I have an index draw call and I call that 7 times and I've updated the uniform buffer 7 times while I'm recording the index buffer, are the index buffers different per draw call, or are they all the same? Because the draw calls and the index buffers aren't. Sorry, the draw calls and the uniform buffers aren't. This relationship doesn't exist, I don't think. What I'm trying to think here, I don't think I have a uniform buffer one-to-one relationship between each draw call. Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah. So I think what I've done here is kind of like convinced myself that this uniform buffer is correct when I should be doing this kind of thing with a struct. You know, storage buffer object which we index into based on the draw call, which would be, I think there's probably a GL instance. Yes, I did forget that earlier. Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. I think this relationship definitely doesn't exist because I'm updating this each time, but then each submission, when I submit all the draw calls it's like it's just reading the last, what was it, whatever I wrote. All right. Okay, we've made some progress. But now I know what to do. And things are starting to... I might have to go soon on top of that. I had a feeling this would happen. I had a feeling that we would... at least 2 streams would be needed to do this. Yeah, okay. This relationship doesn't exist. I do need to record 4 things, and I do need to do 4 updates, but I need to do... yeah, I need to basically index into a SSBO with a struct of position. Okay, dokie. And we need the index of whatever we're in. I don't want scale orientation. I'm not sure what vertex offset is. Alright. So we bring this in. We have a guy. And we go, okay. Number 8. So we should have we should have done this from the beginning. The more you learn, I guess. Draw. And I can even steal the... No. What is it? Yeah, that. I think there's an extension though for this. That is the extension I care about. Oh, okay. Why did I click on them? Oh, we just need to turn on the shader? Yeah, this. Yep. We just need to turn it on in the shader. As an extension. Oh yeah, I should put it up here. Now we need a way to index into this. Steal you. No, wait, that's for a draw command, which is... I'm getting confused here. How would I get this? What does this do? Let's just make sure that is what I think it does. That could be for a draw command thingy. Yeah, for a draw... What is it called? A draw indirect count buffer? Not what I think it is, which... Yeah, I just want the draw index. Is that what I care about? Okay. Yeah, because right, I'm gonna just guess that's correct. Because then we take out this. Actually, yeah, let's do a matrix. Do I need this? Probably not. Mat for... translate? No. Models. Matrix. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. Mesh draw. GL draw that dot matrix model. Oops. And that's it. Okay. Now for each draw call count. Sorry, I blew into the mic. My bad. This is... not entirely. I think this should go here. Okay, so this is to scale everything. This is to place something. Okay. Then we need to actually use this. Yeah, so this is completely redundant. There. This does need to be added. Here. Oh, whatever. Alright. Bring this back down. Okay. So the next step is to build up the pipeline again. We don't have SPRV reflection. So we're gonna have to just or anything really. It's a shaded storage buffer object. It's only in a vertex. It's binding 8. It's set 1. It's, I don't know, models, position. Its name doesn't matter. Then I kind of need to copy what I did. So effectively, every time we generate, we need to create a buffer, update it. Yeah, okay, so we need to copy all this, and effectively for every single position thingamajig, we need a, where's that dealt with? Yes, we need to create a buffer. No, this doesn't, yeah, this is just a free floating buffer at this point. Let's stick this here. Positional buffer. Okay, so positional buffer's fine. Go down here. Buffer creation. Buffer creation. That. No, actually, take this out. Position size, and it's just vec3s. It's the multiplication. We need positions data. Cool. And then we need to set positional buffer. So we got to create. We've created our buffer now. Descriptor set creation. Dang it. Oh, this might be depressing. Well, we bind a descriptor set there. Okay. Give me a second. I need to think about how to do this in a way that makes sense. I've had a huge issue when it comes to making a second descriptor set that's not part of that one. Like a massive issue. Like when I create a second descriptor set layout, it just does not work. And I don't know why, but let's try it. Because I really want to bind this separately, if I can get around it. Descriptor set layout 2. Take this. It's possible that I just kind of messed it up. Okay, so add descriptor set. Right, whatever. Sorry. What is this? Right, fine. We'll create a second one. Position. Descriptor set. Layout. Descriptor layout will do. Okay. Grab that. We have a handle now. GPU create descriptor set layout. Yeah, because I want to bind this separately. The reason is because I need to create it separately. I'm going to bind it basically at the same time, but this needs to be updated differently. Because this isn't updated for every instance of draw call. Or is it? No, this is updated for... Oh no, wait. If I'm indexing into it, okay, sorry, go back. I'm not getting frustrated or anything. I'm trying to get this done. I don't have much time. That's all. Ugh. So this is speed run time. All right, fine. We're just going to create this buffer for every single one of these. It's not ideal, but it's something we're going to have to do. Oh no, we need that. Actually, I'll. So get rid of this, and effectively. Okay, put this here, take this out. Scroll this to the bottom. Put that there, move that. Do this. Add that there. 8 positional buffer. I know this is going to make people think. If this doesn't work, we'll come back to it, no problem. But if we can, that'd be sick. So I'm just trying to make this work in the dirtiest way possible. Right. So basically going to recreate everything. For one piece of data. Get rid of this. And 4 for now. Yes, this is ugly. And I have a compile error. Okay, so position is not here anymore. It's Here? No. Where is it? Here? I think it's here. Yeah, okay. Right. No, actually, this needs to be different. This is actually going to be 4 instead of 1. Let's just see if that even does a thing that I want. Do I use this in here? No, I think this is a false. Oh, it is. Okay, I do use it. One moment. Almost. Physical. Where's the features at? My brain's falling now. What goes where? I can't remember if this is the. What does this connect to again? No, don't build. I want to copy. Sure. P next. I think I wanted to do features 11. P next equals this. That. Okay, didn't like that. Descriptor set. Oh, I might have just written nothing. Okay. So how far did we get? So we know everything else works, it's just... Do we have data at this point? I should have checked the call stack. Do we have a valid index? 9, sure. That might be wrong, I don't know if we have to do that. Give me a second. Because he uses this in 2 different places and I'm not sure what the pattern is. Yeah, okay, so that was wrong. I've set the descriptor set twice. Descriptor set layout, sorry. Now, do we get to our draw? We don't. Call stack, that's what we need to see. Create descriptor set. Where are we? Okay, so this is us writing the data to a thing. Is this null? No, it has data in it. Okay. Mm-hmm. It might be too big. Vec3. Oh no. Invalid index buffer. I don't think it, right, I think I know what's happening. It just probably can't obtain it. We've probably got like a null what's wrong with you? Yeah, it's 8. Right, question, is it actually anything to do with this? I'm going to say, guys, we're probably not going to be able to get this done. Yeah, okay, so it is that. It's not how many times we're doing this. It is vec3s though. We have a valid handle. I don't know why it can't create this. Have we run out of space? This would be odd, but I don't know. Last ditch effort. Okay, that was it. Fine. So we get down to here. Do we have 4? Yeah. I know it seems silly, but I'm going to call this a success, right? What has happened here is the position is wrong, but we have something that we've passed up to the data shader. We are obviously doing the multiplication wrong, and I'm not exactly sure where I should do the maths, so I think I'm going to have to come back to this. So yeah, guys, I'm going to have to say thanks for watching. Honestly, it's always nice to have people here coding. It keeps me locked in. It's really and I really appreciate anyone who's been joining, so you know, appreciate everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't quite get this finished, but I think we're very close. And I will work very hard when I'm not on stream to do revision and get better at this kind of stuff. It's been difficult to do revision recently, so but I'll get back on it. It's just there's stuff outside my control at the moment. Anyway, Oh no, TT. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm just about to end. I hope you have a good day though. Thanks for coming along anyway, TT. All right then. I'm gonna call it here. Tomorrow we'll try and get this done. So, all right. Bye, guys.